Alright. Good. So I'd like to thank the opposition for everything that they brought up. Some good points. I'd also like to thank the Honorable Timekeeper and Speaker of the House for today, and the Peanut Gallery. Thank you for being here. To start off with my time, I want to read something to you, and I want you to pay attention closely to the words that are said and how you feel and what it means to you. So, to start off, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. The preamble of the Constitution is something that we as Americans hold dear. The Constitution is a foundation of our freedom, but right now, our freedom is under attack.
Hear, hear.
Emily has brought up some great points, how the people's voices are not being heard. This is because the federal government is getting involved in things that it shouldn't, like marriage equality. The line dividing the federal government and the state government is being crossed, which is threatening our freedom. The 3 points I want to discuss today of why marriage equality should be left to the states are these. First, the federal government does not have power over marriage. Second, the federal government has more important things to deal with at this time. And 3, the states should be able to vote for their own laws in their own states. My first point, the federal government does not have power over marriage. In the 10th Amendment, it states that the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. So that means whatever is said in the Constitution specifically to the federal government is what they have power over. And anything that's stated or not stated is left to the states if it's not to the federal government. According to the Constitution, the things that the federal government have power over deals with war, commerce, and taxation. If we look at marriage, marriage does not fit into any of these topics. By getting involved with anything outside of these topics, the federal government is abusing the power that they were given by the Constitution. Also, what was brought up before in the leader of the opposition's argument is that, let's see, where was it? That it's not fair for marriages to be legal in one state and not in the other state. But according to the Defense of Marriage Act, which was passed by Bill Clinton, it says that no state shall be forced to acknowledge an act pertaining to a relationship between same-sex couples. Recently, that act was taken to the Supreme Court to see to determine its if it was constitutional. Section 3 was struck out, but Section 2, which states that each state can determine whether or not they acknowledge marriage from another state, was kept in the act. So it's still in play, I would say. Whereas Section 3, which determines what marriage is, was struck out. So the Supreme Court has already determined that states not recognizing other states' marriages is still constitutional. My second point is that the federal government has other important issues to deal with at this time. Right now, there's a lot of pressing issues in our country. One of them is terrorism. Such groups such as ISIS are things that we are dealing with right now that are threatening our citizens' lives. Other issues are the economy. Right now, our economy is terrible, and it's decreasing every single day. You know, the federal government has power over these topics. So why aren't we letting them do their job? I guess the question is, what is more important to you right now? Fighting terrorism and keeping our lives and our country safe, or legalizing marriage equality across the nation? I feel like the choice is clear. The states can handle this. They can handle marriage equality. The federal government doesn't have power over these, so we need to leave this power to the states. Why would we want to fill the federal courts with these cases on marriage equality when they could be doing all these other great things? Recently, a poll was done by the New York Times where they asked U.S. citizens who should decide same-sex marriage laws. Of the supporters for same-sex marriage, 57% of them said the states should decide. Of the people opposed for same-sex marriage, 63% of them also said the states should decide. So the people are speaking, and what they're saying is that the states should decide this matter. By going to the federal court to solve this problem, we as people are saying that we don't trust ourselves to make these decisions. This argument isn't all about marriage equality. It's about the federal government doing what they are supposed to do and not giving in to minorities that throw a fit because they aren't getting what they want when they want it. My third point is that the states should be able to vote for their own laws in their own states. On a lighter note, many of us have heard of crazy laws or silly laws that have passed. Apparently in California, it's illegal to ride a bicycle in a swimming pool. Also in Alabama, it's illegal to carry an ice cream cone in your back pocket. These are both examples of silly laws that have passed, but the thing we should take from them is that the people voted for these laws, not the federal government. Each state is different in their culture and their personalities. Each state passes laws that represent their people the best way.
Texas.
If the federal government were to step in and make laws for the states in every aspect of people's lives, there would be no need for separate states. We'd become a nation ruled by one person or one group. Countries like this are China, Russia, and Germany when ruled by Hitler. We would become a communist country, which is not what the Founding Fathers had in mind. That's the main reason why we left Great Britain in the first place. We the people have a voice. We use our voices to pass laws and get our opinions heard. If we let the federal government decide on marriage equality laws, our voices will mean nothing. The states should be the ones to have the final decision in this. The reasons I have discussed are first, that the federal government does not have power to act in marriage. Second, the federal government has more important things to deal with. And third, the states should be able to vote for their own laws in their own states. These, along with Emily's points, are more than enough for you to vote for us. So let your voice be heard and vote for the states.